So who wants to go first for show and tell?
I will.
Okay.
Show and tell.
Vicki wants to go first.
Woohoo!
On the third Thursday of every month, we have an accuquilt club here, and Joan has we voted on a pattern we wanted to do. Joan gave us a series that we could choose from, and we all chose this one pattern called Storm at Sea. And accuquilt has what they call a block on board die that has each and every piece that you need to complete this project. And we did this quilt in 6 months. Well, I decided that I wanted them to quilt it for me too, because we have a quilting studio in the back where you can bring all your quilts in and have them quilted. And they also bind it because they have this wonderful way of binding it. So I actually went for the whole 9 yards and had them quilt it for me. I used, since it's called Storm at Sea, I used the Celtic Sea Panto. So it looks like they're fish in my Storm at Sea. So this is it. And if you can see this, in each block that we did, there were 54 individual pieces.
You get in the front and let me get in this
Okay.
side, and then you can
have to step back a bit.
Yeah, in each of these blocks, these main blocks, there were 54 individual pieces. And we did a portion of it each month. Some months we'd have 1 block, some months 2, some months 4. And then we picked out our borders. And then I found this absolutely amazing batik. We carry a line of batiks here to finish it off with. So I was very excited to finish it. And what really excited me is when I brought it home, my husband said, "Who's that for?" And I said, "Well, I think it could be for us." So he's excited that it's staying at home. But this was really fun. And again, the class meets every third Thursday. And we just started a new quilt that we are going to be doing in totally wilder, different colors. So any of you who accuquilt, this is just tons of fun to get involved in. And then having them quilt it for me, I was so excited the way it came out.
I think it's beautiful.
So
Very nice.
that is my show and tell for tonight.
It's a beautiful quilt.
Yeah,
It really came out amazing.
yeah, and Joan picked these wonderful colorways. See how it just undulates. You can see so many different patterns. You see this pattern, you see this, and then just everything. And the colors make it.
Mine is a huge quilt. You know how that is, how I love those huge quilts. So, you remember the windmills, and you remember the hammer, because I talk about it all the time. And finally, during my Thanksgiving Christmas vacation, I finished it. So, this is the back. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I had
It's like some Picasso.
Well, it's just swirly.
Okay.
You know? But it had the colors that the front has in it, which are wild. And remember when we talked about it, we talked about the windmills of my mind. And this is pretty psychedelic, and I didn't do drugs. So this is the finished product, and I like to do small things because, you know,
I like it.
it's just, you can finish it fairly quickly. It only took me a year, it seems like. But I kind of liked all those colors.
I love it.
You know, so it'll go up on my wall somewhere just to cover something up. That's my show and tell.
Bring it in just a little closer.
Yeah, a little closer.
Yeah.
Well, then you can see some threads I didn't get cut.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
I just quilted around. I just did the framework around these. I didn't do a whole quilting on it because it was busy enough without that.
Did you do that on your domestic machine then?
Yeah, it's just straight line around there. So, that's it.
Yeah, I think it'd be a great wall hanging.
That's beautiful. So there's a YouTube video out there on this one, how to make these quarter square triangles. And so this one is finally finished. It's already collecting fuzzy stuff on the back. So I quilted it in the back with, this is Kansas Troubles. And then
That was made with charm packs, wasn't it? Is that the one
it
that
was
charm
one.
packs?
It was kind of an odd size charm pack that I bought from the quilt
okay.
shop. I think they were cutting their own. So check out the video for it. It's finally finished. I did the binding, and the reason I wanted to show you this is because it's a new product that we're thinking about carrying in the store, and it's pre-made binding. So on a spool, it's $1.50 a yard. It's 2 1/4 inches, not the 2 1/2 that I know a lot of you use. So your binding is a little bit smaller, but if you
I like that size personally.
if yeah, a lot of people do. So
Yeah.
if you're like me and you like a little more binding in the front of your quilt, so I'm used to seeing a 1/2 inch binding. So I just did it 1/4 inch on the back and then stitched in the ditch, and it's bigger on the front. So so comment if that's something that you would buy. It comes in all different colors. There's solids, there's marbles. This is grunge. I think it's called peacoat, like the Navy's peacoat. Yeah.
Or if you've used it in the past,
Or if you've used it and
give
you're
us
never going
your
back.
thoughts on it. Yeah. I mean, 'cause we
So-
always like to know about products that we carry
Yeah.
and how people like them.
So this is one we're thinking about carrying. I think we will. It makes sense. We quilt a lot of quilts here, and for people that like to do their own binding. For those of you that don't, I don't remember how much the cost is for it, but we do. Can I borrow your quilt again so I can show the difference?
Does it come in stripes by chance?
I didn't see any in stripes.
Okay.
But there's a Kansas Trouble. They have like 5 or 6 colors. It's all real muted. So it's from Moda. It's either Moda, their Bella Solids, the Grunge, and then the Marbles. Those are the only colors that they carry. So our method of binding here is we actually make a bias. Well, it's not really bias. It's straight grain bias. But we sew both sides on at once. I like it. That's my favorite method to do binding because you get these really sharp corners. And so this is the French flip method where you sew one side on and see how the corners are a little rounded. They're just a little bit more rounded by comparison. So that's why I like this method best. But this is already pre-made. So I might learn to like it a lot without having to make binding. Marilyn's over there nodding because, that's not a treat. And to have it already made in colors that coordinate with your quilt. See, she could have used that on yours too.
I could have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, sells for $1.50 a yard. Comment and let us know if that's something you'd like to see in the store. So, and there's my finished. This is only
It's just the right size.
4 years. So, little while to make that, but anyway. So, comment and post pictures of what you've been working on because we love to see those. Especially if you're doing this sew along with us. Comment and show us a picture of what you're sewing it in.
When I was still living in Colorado but knew we were moving, I went to a favorite quilt shop in Grand Junction, and they had a panel in coordinating fabric, and I thought, oh, that'll be perfect for my daughter. Well, we've been back for 5 years, maybe going on 6, and I was going to do it for her last year for 2019. Then I was going to do it for 2020. Well, we're in 2021, but I've got the top done. Yay!
Cute.
Isn't that cute?
And it went quickly.
Nice panel, yeah.
That's
Very cool.
Very cute.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know what you think.
I've got the backing ready, and I've already put it in the queue, and it's going to get quilted here. So, but I just thought
What
it
are
was
we
fun.
quilting on it? Did you pick out a pattern?
Yeah, what did we pick, Vicki?
The ribbon. Was that the,
Yes.
the ribbons?
Oh, because it looks like coffee swirls.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yep. I just love all the colors in it. I think they're great. And the border fabric we have here. And I
We
thought
do?
that worked.
Okay.
Awesome.
I think I saw it over there the other day when I was looking. But, okay, yeah. Just have to wait for the binding to come in.
There you go. There you go. Actually, I have a stripe that coordinates with this.
That's cool. Yeah.
So that's going to be the binding.
I love the little beans. The little coffee beans are so
Oh.
cute.
Yeah, that's
They're
right.
cute.
Yeah, hold up the little coffee bean. We'll get a little closer picture of it.
Okay, where's the coffee bean?
Yeah,
They're
so
right
it's
in the middle there.
border of your-
Yeah. The little coffee beans there. A cup of coffee. My favorite beverage.
She'll enjoy it. I don't know if she'll use it as wall hanging or a lap quilt, or if one of her 4 children will swipe it away from her. But
Oh, that's a capital offense.
that'll be between her and them. So you need to put a label on it so they know where it came from, Grandma.
There you
Oh,
go.
You can get your embroidery machine out and make a label.
Okay. Marching orders. Yeah, really. Okay. No, I really should. And
How
I'm
many
not
of
good
you
at
do
labels.
put embroidery labels on your quilts? I think that's something that's been a question that we've had here. So comment and let us know who all put
We've
some
had
kind of a
some that
label on their
embroidered
quilt.
straight on the top, and others
Right.
that have done it separate and stitched it.
That's awesome. Well, so like with this, so one of the things I want to do is, so like not everybody has an embroidery machine. If you get this, you can just put this on your machine and use your lettering just right down the side, and then it's built into the quilt.
That's a good idea.
So
You're so smart. That's why we love you.
There's a
I'm always coming up with a way to.
So I think that's a future YouTube video that we need to do. A lot of
Yeah.
people are asking, show people how to do that, and we can put it out there so
Yeah,
more people can give it a try.
we can give that a try.
We'll
Hopefully it
remind
works.
you. Yeah. Now that I have to put one on mine, we'll remind you about that.
Okay,
There-
cool. If
Well,
you bring us a quilt and you have a label, bring that with you because we can attach it to the back and then just quilt it right into the quilt. So quilts do get stolen, and
Having
you know,
that label is a good tracer.
yeah, we can whip stitch those labels on, but they can take it off. If it's quilted into the quilt, they would have to destroy the quilt to
Yeah.
remove your evidence. So.
Capital offense.
But the other thing is, there are
think so.
several ladies who have, their mothers have passed, and so the daughters get together and they go through the bureau and they find all of these quilt tops that Mom had made, and they were totally unaware of it. And they don't know when, and they don't know how old it is, and they have so many questions. If there was a tag on there, that would make it so easy for them. Plus, it just adds that much more value to the keepsake that they're getting. So it's something to think about for the future too, I think. It
Yeah.
makes a nice,
Yeah, if they're ever, they could be an infamous quilter like Marilyn.
Oh, yes. I mean, man, and she's prolific too.
Never know what's hiding in your treasures.
No, you don't.